Hello students. So today we are going to talk about Philip Larkin's church going. The poetry of the 1950s is the poetry of loss of faith. It is anti-romantic and anti-heroic. Larkin is the most representative poet of the 1950s, and Church Going is a representative poem of Larkin revealing this loss of faith. The Less Deceived is the anthology in which Church Going was published in 1954. The speaker, who is undoubtedly Larkin himself, says that he goes into a church building after making sure that no ceremony or ritual is being performed at the time. Inside the building of the church, he sees the matting on the floor, the seats, and a number of Bibles. He also sees flowers which had been placed inside on Sunday last and which has now faded somewhat. He sees the small organ or the piano like instrument which produces the music to which the choir sings during the worship. The speaker in the poem is not wearing any hat, and therefore he takes off his bicycle clip to show his reverence. The speaker moves forward in the church and runs his hand around the font close to which he now stands. The roof of the church building looks almost new, as if it had been cleaned or renovated. Then he mounts the lectern and goes through a few verses in Bible. At the time of his reading, he loudly says that the verses had been perused by him. In reply to his loud utterance of these words, he hears an echo of those words as if somebody were mocking at him. Then he goes back to the entrance of the church, signs the book kept there for the purpose, drops an Irish sixpence into the charity box, and comes out. It seemed to him that it was not worth while for him to stop on his way in order to go inside and spend a time there. It now occurs to the speaker that he often stopped outside a church building and then gone inside, but every time he had gone into a church, he had afterwards felt that he had merely wasted his time. He had always wondered on these occasions why he had gone inside the church and what he had been looking for. He had also asked himself what purpose the church building would serve when people stopped going to the churches altogether. Perhaps a few of the churches would be converted into museum where such articles as the parchment, the plate, and the pigs would be placed in the locked cases for the visitors to see. The remaining church building would perhaps be offered free of rent to rain and to sheep. In other words, the remaining church would fall into complete disuse, with the rain and the falling freely upon them and the sheep coming in to graze there. There is also the possibility that people would begin to avoid these churches building as unlucky places. But there is another possibility too. Stray unknown women might visit the deserted and desolate churches and make their sick children touch particular stones so that the children might get well. Some of these women might seek the cure of their children from cancer by making them touch some holy object or some holy spot there. Some of the women might even hope to see the spirits of their dead relatives walking about in those deserted buildings. Some sort of supernatural power would still be perceived by these women in those forsaken buildings. Of course, all such women would be of superstitious kind, but eventually even superstition would come to an end, just as the religious belief has come to an end and rendered to these churches useless. What would happen after superstition or disbelief has ended? Asked the speaker. In course of the time, only grass, weeds, thorny plates, and shrubs would be seen on the ground, inside the decayed buildings and outside the building as well. With the passing of each week, these churches buildings would become less and less recognizable, so that these people passing the ruins of these buildings would not know what purpose these buildings had served. The speaker in the poem then wonders who would be the last person, the very last person, to visit a church or his spiritual edification. He asked whether the last person had been in the habit of visiting a church or at Christmas who now wanted to recall the original atmosphere of a church, or the last person to visit a church would be a man like the speaker himself in this poem. The last person to visit this church might resemble to the speaker himself. He might be a person who is feeling bored with everything in life, an ignorant person, a person seeking some knowledge about the ceremonies which used to be held, ceremonies that were held on the occasion of the marriage or death. In any case, the speaker in the poem feels pleased to stand silently inside the church even though he has no idea of the worth of the church, which is well equipped but which to him is no better than a barn. Finally, the speaker in the poem feels that a church is a serious house situated on a serious earth, and that in its air are mingled all those human urges which bring people to it. People look upon church as a place which decides their respective destinies. This feeling of the people can never become obsolete. In other words, the spiritual essence of the churches would never be completely ignored or forgotten. Some or the other at all times experience a desire to visit church, even a ruined church, because some people in every age would remember having heard that a church is a place where one could become wise. These people would think that a visit to the church could make a man wise, or if any other reason than because of simple fact that numerous dead persons lay buried in the churchyard. There is a punning ambiguity in the title. It is both Larkin going to church and the church going to disintegration.